All right, everybody. So on my podcast, which is barely even existing now, but I have some time now due to the pandemic that's going around. I'm bringing aboard Amanda Pero, who owns Limitless Training. You have a nice tagline too. What's that tagline?
Your only limit is you?
The only limit is you. And isn't that so correct? Anyway, so what we're going to do is she's focuses on home training, and she made the transition into virtual training, which is what every trainer is going through right now with the pandemic. That's why I wanted to bring her on. She's very, very good at what she does. She has a ton of clients that always speak highly about her. If you check out her Instagram, she's always doing challenges for them. She's always posting their success and their progress. So she knows what she's doing. So listen up. So Amanda, why don't you just give our audience a short little brief bio about yourself? Just introduce yourself.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Pero, and I'm the owner of Limitless Training. I've been a trainer now for 8 years. I started off at Club Metro, and I did some sports-specific training on the side. And then I worked at Robert Wood Johnson for 3 years, and I decided to go my own route and make my own business.
Nice. And how long did you start your business? How long has it been running for?
About a year and a half ago.
A year and a half, really? And you already have that many clients? We talked off air, and you told me how many clients you're having. Damn, that's a lot. All right. So just looking at you and looking at your photos and your videos and stuff, you obviously train. You're in shape. What's your training like? Like, what's your split?
So my split is 2 upper body push-pull days right now and 2 lower body days that focus predominantly on my posterior chain.
Okay. Now, this is with the pandemic going on, or this is normally how you do it?
Right now, both. Like,
Okay.
I do it only 4 days. I'm doing cardio and on my off days.
All right. So you don't really have an off day?
No, one maybe one.
But maybe you got to let the body heal a little bit, right? What is
Yeah, but
what is your training philosophy like then? So I mean, I know you're very specific with because of all your training background. You know, like you said, the posterior chain. Like, not I'm not sure if any of our audience really knows what that means. So if you could break down kind of what that is before you go into your philosophy, that'd be great.
so the posterior chain is everything on your back side of the body: your glutes, your back, your hamstrings, your calves. I'm quad dominant, so I primarily focus on pushing through my quads, which is the prime mover for all movements. But I need to focus more on my weaker muscles.
So you're taking the what you're weak at aspect and you're trying to enhance that.
Yes.
Cool. So now go into the philosophy. So when you train, is it like, oh, you got to train to failure? Is it like, hey, use a reps and reserve type scheme? Like, what is your philosophy with training?
Well, it's funny you asked that because I like to train to failure, but when I was training to failure, my form was breaking a lot, and I wasn't focusing on squeezing in the right area. So I like to train to failure, but I first focus on movement patterns, engagement, eliminating injury. So making sure if I need mobility exercise or proper movement patterns or corrective focuses, I focus on that first for myself and clients, and then I go to failure.
Now, do you practice the same stuff with with you when you train yourself with your clients, or is there a little bit of a difference there? How does that go?
A little bit of a difference. Most of my clients don't like to lift heavier, and their goal is just to lose weight and stay active. So I don't do nearly as much core work as I give my clients because core and everything. But a lot of my clients like to isolate and focus on it, so I throw it in there for them.
Okay, cool. Now, you mentioned before something about your rest days, which aren't really rest days because you're doing your cardio. But if you were to do an entire rest, if you're like, look, I'm not doing cardio, I'm not training, I'm not even looking at a weight, what would your day consist of?
Sitting on the couch and doing business work, catching up with that.
Okay, so you don't let your mind break at all?
Yeah, no. Never. No, never.
All right. Well, that's a businesswoman for you. That's why you start your own business, and that's why it's successful. Now, you did mention that you do cardio. What kind of cardio do you do, and do you actually enjoy it? Because I'll tell you what, I fucking hate cardio. I don't want to do it ever. I know it's a tool to use to help with the fat loss. It's not a necessity, but if I could not do it, I won't. Plain and simple. So, what do you do?
I'm right there with you because my attention span is this big. So if I don't have entertain me while I'm doing it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm steady state cardio. So I do about 3 days of like 40 minutes. But I normally do sprints or like intervals.
Now you do sprints and intervals. Does that go to your like past, like your childhood, or because I know me playing, like football and stuff, I like to sprint too. So does you liking, your affinity for doing sprints, does that have to do anything with what you dealt with in the past?
Absolutely, because I'm fast and I don't last long.
Mm.
So you're what you're good at, right?
Yeah, I guess. What
Like to do.
you're so did you play sports?
Yes, I did. I played soccer my whole life, and I played in college for the first 2 years.
Okay, cool. Were you any good, or were you just eh?
Right. All right.
You're all right. Yeah.
Times.
She, audience, she was very good. I believe she has a nice interview in a paper where she talks about her favorite comedian. Um, but yeah, let's move on. Let's get off of this. So besides training and business and stuff, you are a human being. What, like, in your spare time, do you actually enjoy? Like, what do you like to do?
I love to go to the beach. Um, I love to see live comedians, not Tim Allen. Um, I like to see a lot of movies. I love barbecues, and I like to just be active. I like to play volleyball. I like to move, hikes.
So outside active.
Outside of active, I also am reading more, which has been a goal of mine for years that I've never done, and now I'm actually starting to do it. So that's good.
So what are you reading currently?
The last Law of Attraction book. I didn't finish it yet. We talked about
Nice.
this.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Nice. That's a good book. And I told you I have one of those books for you too. So when you finish that, I'll throw the other one your way. Let's move on a little bit. So you were on this path where basically you were getting told what to do, how to train, who to train. Then you decided to veer off by yourself, which was a risky move, and you decided to start your own business. But what made you want to start your own business?
I felt complacent. I was not growing anymore. I felt like I did everything I could at Robert Wood Johnson. Um, and I was getting bored, and I wanted to increase accountability because depending on the weather, depending on the snow, depending on a lot of factors, people would cancel, right? So when I felt if I came to them, it would eliminate that factor.
Okay. So when you talk about you going to them, so let's talk about that a little bit because that's what your business really, that's what it is. It's home training. You go to the client's home. You make it very convenient for them. And honestly, if you have a business in this world that makes things convenient for people, you're going to be successful. So was that the main reason why you decided to go into home training, just to get rid of that cancellation factor because you had that in your hands?
Um, that was one of the reasons. Another reason was I wasn't ready to start my like open up my own place. I didn't know exactly which route I wanted to go. So to figure it out while I was figuring it out, I was doing a plan B and it's kind of working out better. So right now I'm not looking for a place to like rent or anything.
Yeah, you've definitely found a nice niche that's not taken. You rarely see, personal trainers bring in all the weights to the client's house to train them and just nonstop on the road, just keep going from client house to client house. So you definitely found a niche and you're taking advantage of it. But what was that transition like going from working at Club Metro and Robert Ward Johnson to the home training system?
I was scared. I knew nothing about business, so that was a whole learning curve for me. I knew how to sell, I knew how to be personable, but I didn't know anything about business. I'm still failing when it comes to business, but I'm learning each time I fail, and that's how you grow. And I love it. I wouldn't
All
go
right.
back.
Yeah, no, listen, you learn from your mistakes because you know not to make them again, plain and simple. So when you're training your clients, what's your average client like? Like, do you only train certain people? Is it only like if your client avatar, like what would it look like? Is it just like an older woman trying to lose weight? Is it like a young stud of a male just trying to become a better athlete? What is it? Or is
I
it a
wish we had,
mix?
but right now,
I'm sorry,
it's
wait,
mostly.
you broke up real quick. Say that one more time.
I said I wish we had more male clients, but mostly it's women around the age of 30 to 50 trying to lose weight.
Okay. And are you like that? Does that rev your engine, so to speak? Like, is that what you look forward to doing? Or would you want to have more of like an athletic clientele come in? Or you just don't care? It's just train whoever wants help.
Well, I guess it's more so, well, think about it, you're in people's homes, right? So if they don't have their own little gym in their basement and you're using their living room, to train an athlete and lift heavier and like throw weight around, maybe that wouldn't be as conducive as the clients that I do cater to.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because when you're in the living room and you got a dining room table and you got a rug and that's really it, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Because I know that me, if you were coming in my house to train me, we wouldn't be able to do anything, plain and simple. So you now hit this time in this world where if you go to someone's house, they're going to probably kick you out because of the virus that's going around. So there's no in-person type stuff. Everything's online, and you had to make the transition from going from home training to now like us right now. What is that transition like? What are the problems you're dealing with? What are the successes you've had, and how are you doing it?
So first, a lot of my clients weren't willing to try the virtual training. They felt they didn't have equipment. They felt it would be a waste of time. I was getting nervous. And then I offered a free session to try and get their foot in the door, because usually when I'm with people one-on-one in person, I give them a free session to show them what it's all about, and they end up liking it, and that's where they commit.
Mhm.
So they have to trust you first, right? So I put them through a workout, and not one person in week one, the hardest part was dealing with all the cancellations and people saying, no, I don't want to virtually train. But from week 1 to 2, it tripled. Everyone is surprised with how sore they are. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I have not gotten feedback so far, so that's good.
Now, what is one of the difficulties that you have with doing it? Like, are you seeing like when you train client A and client B, you keep hitting this one little bump in the road? Do you have any of those right now, or is it just smooth sailing?
I guess it's more so like the connection sometimes, right? So
Yeah.
if the image lags and you're trying to hear what they say and you can't really read their mouth because the image isn't following.
Hmm.
Other than that, it's good. I am actually going to keep it in my business as
Nice,
another service.
nice. Yeah, well, that was going to lead me to my next question too, because this might stay on for God knows how long, a whole nother year, who knows? So what's the next step with your virtual training? So how do you set yourself apart from the personal trainer that, is kind of stuck in your position where they needed to go this virtual route? What's your next step to say, look, I'm different because of this? What are you going to do?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? My
So,
attention span.
so what are you going to do? Like, what's your next step with this virtual training? So every personal trainer is doing it now. So if I needed a personal trainer, I could find a million of them that do virtual training. So what are you going to do that's kind of separate yourself from the pack?
Well, I'll definitely offer the free one so I can show them that it's not as easy as it may seem without equipment, because most people have equipment at home. But for every 4 sessions, I offer a free one because there may be a lack of equipment and they want to use more weights and they don't have it, or they don't have a gym at home. So that's, everyone usually likes to try something before they invest in it. So that's how I figured I would try it.
So that's your hook. Your hook is try it with me. You're going to like it, plain and simple. That's it.
Yep.
Cool, cool. So so instead of doing the whole one-on-one virtual training, are you doing anything different? Are you trying to do like multiple people at once or anything like that?
Yeah. We had the first class, and it was actually much smoother than I thought.
When'd you do this?
Today at noon.
Oh, nice, nice. How'd it go?
It was good. About 7 people joined. The connection was perfect, so that didn't interfere with anything. We were actually all interacting. Most trainers actually mute all the clients who joined, but I wanted them to talk and see how they were feeling, if something didn't feel right, if they needed a regression, things like that. So it was very interactive. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, no, and to be honest with you, with the amount of time that we have in a day, if you could get more clients into that hour, that's obviously better for your business and you can help out more people too. So that's a really good idea. I think that is probably one of the steps that's going to separate you from some of the other virtual trainers right now. So if you could solidify that and just start offering classes and get a bunch of clients at once, that's ideal. Are you going to keep the virtual? So let's just say the coronavirus, we get a vaccine, everybody's healthy, boom, it's gone, right? It just went as quick as it came. Are you going to keep the virtual training or what are you going to do with it?
Absolutely. It saves time, and in this busy world, a lot of clients have their own businesses. A lot of clients are busy working crazy hours. It just makes more sense to a lot of people. It's more flexible. You take away the driving factor, right? So an hour session that normally takes a half hour to get there and unload and pack the equipment up and drive to the next one is now done in an hour.
Yeah.
So see more people and help more people.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenient for you and for them. And not only that, like me, my whole nutrition business is online. So I get to reach people that aren't in New Jersey. That it doesn't matter if I could drive there or not. I have clients in UK and Australia. So just the online aspect that now opens up doors for potential areas that you weren't able to reach before too. So that's great. Yeah, it's all increase in revenue for you. The end goal. So what's the big picture for Limitless Training? Like what do you, in the future, what do you want to see Limitless Training as?
Well, I definitely want a strong team. I don't care if it's big or small, I want a team. So whether it's 5 trainers that work with me or 10, I just want a strong team. We're also planning on branching out to other states such as Tennessee, where my manager's moving to. So that's a bigger goal to accomplish. I'm excited to start that path too.
So you just want to kind of slowly start branching out further across the states. So luckily, I mean, your trainer now that's leaving, was this one of your favorite trainers or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he's leaving, but he's going to take Limitless there. So it's almost like a blessing in disguise. You don't have him here, but you're bringing him to another different area where you can reach more potential clients. So how do you plan, and this is just kind of off the top of my head, I'm spitballing here, how would you plan to like hit the New York area or to hit Connecticut or Delaware? Like what would you have to do? Would you have to go and interview trainers or how would that work?
Well, maybe not so much branch out to like other states right away. Maybe going North Jersey, finding someone there, or south of me, like Cherry Hill. So like a little smaller than that, but I got lucky to have someone who's going to be moving to Tennessee to start in a whole other state.
Yeah.
So I would.
Where are you now then? Because you said North Jersey. So where are you?
I'm in Old Bridge.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So to go up north, you would need trainers up there. So you're looking to start off, build your way throughout New Jersey, and then take it from there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, look, you gave some great insight on the whole virtual training, the home training. Before I get to my last part, I just want you to let everybody know where they could reach you, where they could follow you. If you want to give out your contact information, just whatever you want, just so they could get in contact with you.
Feel free to follow me at Limitless Training. Well, it's _Limitless Training _ on Instagram. Or my website is limitless-training.com.
Okay, great. And do you have a specific email that if they're like, hey, right away, I need this virtual training, I want to try you now, what's the email that they could best reach you at?
Amanda.pero, PERO.fit@gmail.com. But also if you go on the website, it'll go right to my email.
Perfect. Great. All right. So the last thing, if I asked you to shed some positive vibes right now, because we need them, especially with what's going on. So if I asked you to shed some positive vibes to the listeners, what would you tell them?
For every negative situation, make a positive. With the quarantine, I was scared. I was nervous my business was going to suffer a lot. And it actually opened up more doors for me. The virtual training we're keeping and they're expanding. All of Tyler's clients are staying with me when he moves to Tennessee now, so I don't have to worry about changing trainers and getting comfortable to someone else. I wouldn't have been doing this interview. I'll tell you that right now. I hate interviews. So, growing. So, there you go. Keep going. Keep pushing.
All right. Yeah. So just find the positive in a negative because you could always do that. That's great. It's great. All right. So, Amanda, thank you so much for joining me on this chat. Are you hiring trainers anyway? I'm just going to throw that out there. Are you hiring? Are you looking to hire?
Accepting applications.
Say that one more time.
Not right now, but I'm always accepting applications.
All right, cool. So once again, rewind this and listen to her email, her website, as well as her Instagram, so you can follow her, get in touch with her, especially for that home virtual training, because that's the new thing nowadays. Amanda, thank you so much for joining me, and that is it.
Thank you, Vinny.